Hey there and welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host Kat Jovi and today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite lamb chop sporting superhero, Wolverine. As we know, he has retractable claws, super enhanced senses, enhanced physical abilities, and a skeleton made of adamantium, and he also has the ability to regenerate very quickly, so he's really difficult to kill. However, even though he has almost godlike abilities with healing, today we're going to talk about his 10 weaknesses you never knew he had. At number 10, we have sensory overload. Since Wolverine has enhanced vision, hearing, smell, etc., there is a downside. Sensory overload. It's always an overlooked weakness, or almost always. So whenever Wolverine is up against a villain that has ear-splitting type powers, his safest course of action is to take them out or incapacitate them as quickly as he possibly can before they can emit whatever sound it is that's going to overpower him or overpower his senses. In The Incredible Hulk issue 340, the Hulk takes advantage of this. He uses his thunderclap, where he slaps his hands together with all of his might right in front of Wolverine, and this, as you can imagine, devastates Wolverine's eardrums, which in this case allows Green Goliath to move in. Now thankfully, he has his healing factor, so he can recover, but if villains move quickly enough when he's incapacitated like that, they can really take advantage of this. Fun fact, the Hulk and Wolverine have actually battled a bunch of times over the years, and since they both have brute strength and they heal pretty quickly, it's almost impossible to kill each other, except for this one time in the Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk, when the Hulk tears Wolverine in half. Savage. At number 9, we have healing factor burnout. If it were for some reason to burn out, it would make him really vulnerable, you know, like the rest of us are. This happened more than once. In fact, in The Wolverine, a villain Viper infects Wolverine with this parasite that weakens his healing factor enough that bullets can almost kill him. Another time, the curse on the mutants, Cyclops injects him with these nanites that can easily turn his healing factor on and off at will, and in this case allows him to deal with vampirism. I know, it was an interesting one. At number 8, we have de-aging. So overall, his healing abilities are great, but in Wolverine Killing Made Simple, he talks about a way that he could die called de-aging. It sounds like a horrible way to go, but he describes it in detail. He would basically die from the inside out. If he was to de-age, let's say he turned 12 or 10 or something like that, slowly shrunk back down, all his fleshy parts would shrink down, but his adamantium skeleton would remain exactly the same size. I have to tell you the quote, it's wild. So he says, "It'll all burst through my skin, dislodge my organs, and even if I live through that, then I'll start to heal and my skin will grow apart from my bones, maybe through them, and my brain will be too small and it'll just roll around in my skull." Ugh. It'd be a horrible way to die. At number 7, we have Suffocation by Adamantium. Now this one has to be one of the wildest ones for me. In the Death of Wolverine story, Wolverine no longer has the healing factor, but he is still chasing down the scientists working on the Weapon X program. He ends up sacrificing himself to save the other test subjects, but by stopping the adamantium from being injected into them, it ends up instead spilling all over him. It hardens on him, covering him completely, and then suffocating him within. Oof. At number 6, we have the MURAMASA blade. This is one that has a little bit more of a backstory. There is this great Japanese swordsmith, MURAMASA, who made these blades over the years, lots and lots of blades, but there are 2 that are his most feared. There was the black blade that he made for himself, and then there was the MURAMASA sword, which he made for Logan. What made these swords special is that they were soul-imbued blades. The blade was given to Logan as a gift to him after his wife was murdered by Winter Soldier, and the blade actually contains a small piece of Logan's soul, which gives it its power, and turns out is one of the few things that can really kill him. At number 5, we have adamantium infection. Weapon X is just rearing its ugly head once more. A hidden fact about adamantium from Weapon X is that it is actually poisonous. If he didn't have his healing factor, he'd actually be dead already from the poisoning. However, most of the time, it's fine. Until it's not. There have been times when his healing factor has stopped. Thankfully, he's hooked up with the Beast and he was able to make a drug that counteracted the poisoning, so everything was fine, but it's definitely a risk. At number 4, we have drowning. This is one way we have never really seen, but he's definitely talked about it in a couple issues. So if we were to put him in a tank and lock him in, seal him in there, or toss him in the middle of the ocean or the sea and anchor him down to the bottom of it, even with his healing, the rest of his human body really couldn't function without oxygen. He's not a fish. His lungs can't heal with that lack of oxygen. They aren't magic. His cells would all shut down with the lack of oxygen. His heart would go into cardiac arrest over the stress of it, and his brain would shut down without oxygen. So his body would just die. At number 3, we have losing his head. Funny enough, Professor Xavier has pointed this one out to the team. He has something called Xavier Protocols that he revealed in Excalibur issue number 100. They are fail-safes in case one of the X-Men goes rogue, and I mean, we all know that does happen now and then. In it, he describes that his head would need to be severed quickly and then removed from the vicinity of his body immediately. Now, you might be thinking, how are you going to slice through an adamantium spine? Well, spines are made of joints, so as long as the blade was aimed correctly, it could go through the soft tissue and sever the head from the rest of the body. Now, technically, this actually has happened one time and he lived in Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk, but scientifically, it really doesn't make sense. He learned to breathe through his face. I mean, come on, you need lungs to be able to do that. At number 2, we have carbonadium. It's introduced in X-Men Volume 2, issue number 4, as a product from the Soviet Union. It is among some of the strongest metals in the universe. Only vibranium and adamantium are stronger. The big difference is that it's highly radioactive and it can slow healing abilities of mutants. Another plus is that it's very, very malleable. So in this issue, the Soviets' answer to Captain America is Omega Red. And what they do is they give him these retractable tentacles made of this metal to give him a better chance of fighting Wolverine. Another time, in Deadpool Kills the Universe, issue number 3, Deadpool decapitates Wolverine with one of those blades. That's actually what he used. At number 1, we have anti-metal. This is possibly the only thing that can really penetrate adamantium. It's a rare form of vibranium from the Strangeland. It has a unique wavelength so that when it comes in contact with any other metals, it breaks them down and dissolves them. So a weapon made of this material could easily cause Logan's adamantium coated bones to just liquefy. Ugh. Ugh, I can't even imagine that one. That one would be really gross. I don't want to see that. Well, there you have it. Those are the top 10 Wolverine weaknesses you never know he had. Which ones are your favorite? Which ones did I miss? Comment below. Let us know which ones you love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell to never miss a video. I'm Kat Jovi, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd.